That night, they had to wait overnight in order for the next day to come to Shmuel Navi. That night, the other side, the evil side, found a way to get a shivcha, a maidservant, into the hall that they had thrown Agag in. And from this reunion, Agag had the zera to continue. And of course, all the Amalek that came out of that, the Hamans and the Hitlers from that night. Our sages asked why. Hashem, you told us to destroy Amalek. You hate these people. These are the people who are killing the Jewish people left and right. What's going on here? Why did this Agag get another chance? Our sages tell us something very, very, very disturbing. On the other hand, it's very good for us to understand. If by a Rasha works so much, how much so is too by the Jewish people if they cry out? It says that Agag started crying in the pit. How could it be that he's not going to have any zera that's going to come out of him? His genealogy is going to stop here. He opened his heart and asked Hashem for continuance. And Hashem listened to him. The cries of this Rasha Merusha, the father of Hitler. Because that's the way Hashem has put in the power of prayer. Doesn't matter who the person is. Sadiq Rasha, if he wants to come back, and the crying is for real. That's why you blow on the shofar, the horn of an animal. We can't take something from a lab, even if it sounds better than the shofar of a ram. Why? Because when an animal cries, there's nothing behind the cry by emet. It's all truth. Something that's made out of lab is sheker. That's what Rav Avner Khan was explaining why it has to have to be from an ayah, why it has to be from a ram. When there's true emet crying, when there's tears of emet coming down, the cheeks of a person, no matter where he is, how low he is, you can't go lower than Agag. You cannot go lower than Sisra. These are the father and mother of Hitlers that we have today. You can't get any worse than them. So how much more so a Jew, no matter how low he has gone, no matter where he is, if he's seeing this video right now, he has to come back because we're not lower than Esav. We're not lower than Agag. We're not lower than Sisra. By Esav also we saw, it says that Yitzchak said, I don't have any more brachot for you. I gave it to your brother. He started crying. He says the words in the pasuk. It says, Barcheni gamani avi. Chazal tells us who's the father is he talking about? He's not the mighty Yitzchak. He says, Father in heaven, give me a bracha. This Rasha Merusha who wants to kill our father Yaakov. And Hashem gives it to him. Hashem gives it to him because Hashem will never move away from a tear that's dropped from the bottom of the heart. You see from the power of crying how much more we have to take our crying these days. When the mother is crying for her kids, for her husband, for herself, on Erev Shabbat by the candles, especially Shabbat Shuvah. Drop those tears. You don't know that the 7 heavens are open on that moment. If the tears of the mother of this Rasha Sisra could have such a power that we're still paying for today, how much are your tears are going to have for your kids, for yourself, for your husband, with all the things that are happening in this generation, in these 10 days? Grab it. Don't throw it away. The last part of this shiur, you want to talk about the power of forgiving. We know that everything is midah keneged midah when it comes for Hashem to act with us. Meaning that whatever we do over here on this earth, we're actually giving the judgment, passing the judgment for ourselves. Especially these 10 days. If you're cruel, they're going to be cruel from upstairs. If you have mercy, Hashem is going to have mercy with you, no matter who you are. So next time this guy is passing you in the highway or in the freeway, or this guy gives a push to you on the street, especially these 10 days, look the other way. Because when you look the other way, Hashem will look away from the worst sins that you ever did. And he'll accept your teshuvah. Obviously you have to do teshuvah. But that's an opening. We talked about the king being in the field right now. I saw a picture the other day that my kids had brought from their Talmud Torah. I saw a picture of a king. Sometimes one picture could be more powerful than 1,000 words. stretching his hand into an ani in the field. That's the picture we should have. Kivyachol, as it were. Hashem is passing by. He says, what do you want? Do you want another falafel in your pita? Or do you want life? Do you want life? Lemancha Elohim Chaim. You're screaming. Look at the meaning of these words. We want life because of you. We want to be your servants. Hashem says, you want it because of me, I'll give it to you. We talked about this last week. But we have to forgive. We have to forgive. Now, okay, you're going to say, Rabbi, very nice. This guy did things to me that are beyond forgiveness. I can't forgive him. There are stories that people are not talking to each other for 30 years. This guy did him wrong over here. He took him his money. He did him this. Whatever it is. But if Hashem has told us that the Jewish people are known by 3 midot, Rachmanim, Baishanim, Gemei Chasadim. One of them is Rachmanim. A person comes to you and asks for forgiveness. If you can't forgive him right away, at least tell him that you did me wrong. I'm so hurt by you. But you have to say it. You can't keep it in your heart. If you keep it in your heart, how do you expect on Yom Kippur for you to be forgiven? You have a problem? Go on to him and tell him that, you know what? I have a hard time forgiving you. You did this to me. The guy might not be even aware of you. Maybe he thinks you're not upset at him. Go and say, you did this on this day. This hurt me financially, physically, psychologically. I'm hurt by you. But say it, get it out of your system. Once you get it out of your system, it's much easier to forgive. Because if you forgive, you're forgiving yourself. You're forgiving your own sins. It's boomeranging back in you. But chas v'shalom also, if a person doesn't forgive, chas v'shalom, it could be the other way also. We're going to finish with this story that I heard the other day. My wife went to a shiur, and the message of the 3-hour shiur was one sentence. We'll say the story and we'll say the sentence, and with this we finish. How powerful it is to forgive. Because once you forgive, you could be sure that you're forgiving yourself. Of course, you got to do teshuvah. You just can't forgive and go and, continue with averot and sins. But once you forgive, you're in a much better position to be forgiven and your teshuvah to be accepted. The story is told by somebody who was not religious at all. A woman who was totally not keeping Shabbat, Taharat HaMishpacha, whatever it is, it was ignorance or she didn't want to do it. We're not going to get into that. The point is that she was not observant. Hashem gave us a Torah for us to have a good life, but she wasn't the way she was grown up, whatever it was. Unfortunately, she didn't have kids for 10 years. She went to all the doctors, the best physicians, and the doctors told her, get out of here. You have no chance. Forget it. Go to Honolulu. Enjoy your life with your husband. But kids, you'll never have kids. That's what they told her. She came out of the hospital after having the meeting with the best doctor that she could find. All broken down. She's crying. She goes to the taxi to take her home. And the taxi driver asks her, why are you crying? Like this and this happened. Do you know anybody? You have a kippah on your head. I'm not religious, but you know somebody who could give me a bracha or something? He said, I'll take you. There's a person called Rabbi Shlomo Zalman Auerbach. Big tzaddik that lived 25 years ago. Passed away, I think, 1995. I'll take you to him. I'll give you a bracha. You have nothing to lose. Okay, take me. This woman with her jeans, no head covering, but at least she has emunat chachamim. She wants to hear what the rabbi wants to say. Get a blessing. Every Jew deep down inside knows that the Torah is a myth. That the rabbis, when they want to give a bracha, they go for the blessing. Goes to the house. Rabbi Shlomo Zalman Auerbach accepts her like a daughter. She says the story. Rabbi Shlomo Zalman Auerbach, everybody who saw the picture and is a picture of him, he always had a beautiful smile. But over here, he said something that's not usual of him. He said, lady, God is not obligated to give you anything. He's not obligated to give us anything. What, he owes us something? He made us. He doesn't have to make us. So she became more depressed and she's about to walk out. She's like, hold on, I'm not finished. I'm not finished. Half sentence. God is not obligated to anything. But if you do something that you're not obligated to do, then you're going to also obligate him to do. Think about something that's hard for you to do. Obligate yourself, and Hashem will obligate Himself to give it to you. She became Chozeh B'Tshuva, started covering her hair, Shabbat, everything. Baruch Hashem, today she was saying the story in front of thousands of women, which my wife also went to the Shiur. Has 3 kids. If you want Hashem to have an obligation to give you something, He's not obligated. But if you show Him that you're going to over your midot, your mitgaber, you're about to say Lashon Hara and you hold yourself back. You're about to say something to somebody, you're angry and you hold yourself back, especially these 10 days. Somebody slapped you in the face, you walk away. Rabbi Eliashiv's mother, who was embarrassed in public, walked away and she had Rabbi Eliashiv. Why? Because she didn't answer back. Hashem obligated Himself to give her Rabbi Eliashiv. Hashem obligated Himself to give this woman 3 kids. And He will obligate Himself to also give us whatever we ask for Him, as long as we do it to do His will. We're asking for parnasa, health, happiness, to get married, to have kids, in order to have a better life, to serve Him better. But obligate yourself. If you have a hard time forgiving, forgive. If you have a hard time saying Lashon Hara or keeping Shabbat, start this Shabbat. And Hashem will also obligate Himself to give you, even though He's not obligated to you. Because He saw that you change yourself, and He will change Himself. Bezrat Hashem will give this a bracha, Gemar Chatimot Tova. Everybody should have a great year. Going to this Shabbat, keeping Shabbat. Take a few minutes extra to bring Shabbat earlier. Take it out of Rabbeinu time, Rabbeinu Tam. Say more divrei Torah and forgive. And Bezrat Hashem will be forgiven. We should all have a great year. Amen.